My name is Jamin Goecker. I'm an associate real estate broker in the state of Alaska. My mission is to help you to build an intentional and significant legacy for yourself and your family by coaching in real estate. And today we're going to be talking about what's going on in the MatSu Valley. The MatSu Valley, as you probably know if you're watching and studying the South Central Alaska for any amount of time, encompasses primarily Palmer and Wasilla, but it does include some of the smaller communities out there as well. Geographically, it is an enormous area, and we're going to be taking a look and seeing how that market is doing. Before we get started though, give this video a like, subscribe, do all that good stuff, and let's go and jump into today's market update. Now, the first thing we see is, despite the odds, we are in fact seeing the inventory is actually going down compared to what we saw from the year before. Because this time last year, there's about 454 homes that were available on the market. Now it's 438. Not a big drop, but you are seeing a pretty substantial decline in the amount of properties that normally would be available on the market. For example, looking back in 2019, there were about 772 properties available on the market, and the year before that, it was about approximately 830, 840, and the year before that, about 880. So you start to kind of get a sense for just how low the inventory is right now compared to what it normally would be. Secondly, what we see is that the number of properties that actually sold in the MatSu Valley for the month of September was 169 this time last year, and this year it's 163. So a slight decrease from what we saw the year before. Not a whole lot of a decrease though. The next thing we see is that this time last year, the average sold price was $483,000, and now it's $403,000, which means we have seen a 5.3% increase for the average sold price. Now, that's the first time year to date where we have been above $400,000 from the MatSu Valley. So this is a record-breaking year for us. It did come quite a long ways because back in 2009, the average sold price was approximately $273,000 year to date. So you can see that we're starting to slow down a little bit at the rate at which it's increasing, because back in 2021 we hit a high water mark at about 15.5% increase year over year, and last year it was a 9.9%, and this year we're only 5.3%. So we're starting to see a bit of a slowdown at the rate at which things are increasing, but make no doubt about it, it still is increasing. And we'll talk about some of the theories as to why that is in the summary at the very end. All right, now we're going to take a look at what's going on in the condo market. Now, I've said for a long time that we cover the condo market in the MatSu, not because it's a particularly large piece of the market, but because it is here and is an asset class I'd like to keep an eye on. Now, maybe that asset class is going to become a much bigger part of the market faster than I thought, because this time last year we had 2 available condos, and now this year there are 10. So, fortunately, just shooting through the roof here. That's more than what we've had actually almost for the entire year. So I'll take that. Now, the number of properties that have actually sold in the condos went from 2 this time last year to 5 this year. So again, starting to see kind of a speeding up of that condo market. Now, looking at the average sold price this time last year, it was $263,000, and this year, $232,000, which means we've actually seen about 13.5% decrease for the average sold price for condos in the MatSu Valley. And obviously, we've seen an increase for the number of condos that are selling, but still such a small sample size that a couple being on the lower end is going to throw the entire thing off. So kind of hard to extrapolate a whole lot of takeaway from the metrics for the condo market. Let's go and take a break before we talk about the multifamily market. For those who've been watching for a little bit, you know that I freely give away a lot of tools and resources for those who are considering moving up here. And we've got another resource we wanted to provide for you, and that is providing you our 411, which is really a tool designed to help you really tame and organize yourself as you're deciding if you should move up here to Alaska or not. It may or may not be the thing for you, and this tool kind of helps you do that. What it does is it will help you to categorize all things that you need to do and help you prioritize what needs to get done, help you break it down to like day by day bite-sized activities and things that you need to do. There's a lot of things that need to happen if you're wanting to make something like this actually occur, and so for that reason it's important to really get organized and bring a lot of focus to it, or else it's just going to feel really stressful and you're going to end up spending a lot more brain power on it than you probably should. So do make sure you take advantage of this tool even if you're just thinking about moving here, and this helps you to kind of get organized around the things you need to be looking looking at, link for that is going to be in the description section down below. Just click, I think it's like 411 or plan for moving to Alaska, something like that. Should be one of those links near the top, and take advantage of that. Now, let's go and finish up today's market update looking at the multifamily and talk about the summary. Now, this time last year, we had about 43 multifamily properties that were available on the market, and now it is 39. This is kind of a first, that we've seen a less inventory available on the market compared to what we had the year before, at least in the multifamily. Because up to this point, we've usually been about 10 or 15 properties above what we had the year before, still lower than what we would normally have. This is just interesting to me, just looking at it. It looks like we've more or less balanced out a little bit in the multifamily market. We're still well below what the norm was before 2019, but I guess this is the new norm, so maybe we should stop comparing it with 2019. That being said, though, there were 9 multifamily properties that sold this time last year, and now 9 multifamily properties sold again. So not moving the needle very much for the number of sold units. Now, this time last year, the average sold price was about $494,000, and this year it's about $568,000, which on paper means there's about a 15% increase for the average sold price for multifamilies here in the MatSu Valley. Again, I kind of take this with a grain of salt because we have to keep in mind multifamily includes everything from the duplex to like the big commercial properties. See, there's a lot of ambiguity into what these numbers actually mean. It would not surprise me, though, if we did see a pretty healthy appreciation for the average sold price for multifamilies, because despite the fact interest rates are going up, rents are also going up as well. So it would not surprise me if we saw that going up. This has been your market update, and let's go and give you the summary real quick here. So what we're seeing in the residential side, looking at the single family houses, is that we are in fact seeing less inventory than what we usually do, which we've had that for a couple of years at this point. Maybe that's just not abnormal anymore. Maybe that's just normal and we need to get used to that, but still lower inventory and seeing less inventory than what we saw year over year. That is likely to continue until we have a sizable decrease in the actual interest rates, because those interest rates are actually what's driving the prices up. Because interest rates go down, and the sellers who have their homes with like 2.5%, 3.5% interest rates because everyone refinanced a couple of years ago, they just hang on to those houses even tighter, and they're not going to let go of them. And that's really what's creating the shortage. And the shortage is actually going down at a faster rate than the supply, because yes, there are less buyers out there looking, but proportionally there's still a high demand for what is available because the demand is still higher than what the supply is. So that's really the reason we're going to probably continue seeing the prices going up there. I know some of you comment, I hear quite a bit, and it's something that's going to set a lot of people up for a world of hurt, and that is, well, we're just going to wait till interest rates come down, we're going to go then. I really caution people against doing that, and the reason for it is that if you wait until interest rates go down, everyone else is going to be jumping on, which means you're going to have the high prices again, but it's actually going to be much higher than that because now you have competition. Right now, you don't really have competition. And for those who bought during the 2020, 2021 markets, they'll tell you, hey, no, we had to come in like 20, 30, 40, easily $1,000 over asking price. And then we had to offer like $10, $20, $30,000 appraisal gaps, which says if it doesn't appraise for this, we're just going to pay cash and make up the difference by this much and all this other crazy stuff. And that was not easy. If they had the option of being able to just get a higher interest rate but not have that competition, probably would have come out ahead. So what I'm recommending to people right now, if it makes sense with your family and it pencils out and you can financially do it, it makes more sense to get something, and then if interest rates come down, you can refinance, and you can also enjoy the spike in appreciation you would get at that point because everyone else out there who's been waiting on the sidelines jumps in at the same time, and that's what jacks up all these prices. So instead of being one of the people competing, you can be the homeowner that's sitting there in the property you already have and just enjoying the market value of your property go up and up and up. That is what I would recommend. I know some of you will never listen to me, and that's perfectly fine. Those who do, though, are going to be set up very well. So that has been my market update. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have questions. I'll talk with you later.